Welcome to another episode of She Unleashed. She Unleashed is, of course, brought to you by Pumza Gyani, to you who's a woman that is in the corporate environment, you're in the professional environment, but you want to make the bold moves. You're also an entrepreneur and you are looking to really grow, to pivot. You have these wild dreams of going global. This is for you. We're bringing you all the speakers who have been out there, they've done it. And today is particularly exciting for me because we bring one particular person who's out there, bold, doing the bold moves, and she is speaking, she's talking about her journey and sharing every day excerpts of the experiences as well as encouragement for you who's out there and still fighting. Today I bring you Hlengi. She is the CEO of Garisani, and she will tell you a little bit about herself. She's got a bold and a lot of accolades that follow her. And you will find that with her, the experience is global. It's not just in South Africa. She is the female innovator finalist for 2020. Amongst her many accolades, she is also the next Africa's business hero. Thank you. Welcome. I just had to focus on the latest two because there were just too many. Welcome, and it's such an honor to have you on board.
Thank you so much, Pumza, for inviting me to your show, and I'm really, really honored to be here. And yes, I'm looking forward to share my experiences and my knowledge of my journey on architecture. Thank you for the invite.
Thank you. Who is Hlengi? Where does she come from? Because before Garisani, there was Hlengi, and she had a journey. Who is this woman that we're looking at today?
Well, Hlengi Portia Masimula, she's just an ordinary girl who came from this very small town in Mpumalanga province in Middelburg, and I was born there, and I was raised by my beautiful grandparents, who really impacted and influenced my life of who I am today. I went to primary school there, but because of my grandparents were very academics. Like they were just really, really more academics, more than just not business savvy people, but they were more academic. So they believed that I need to get better education. So I relocated into KZN. That's where I started doing my grade 8, which is at GHS at Dundee High School. And I matriculated there. And then after that, I moved to Cape Town, Varsity Life, where I studied at, CPUT, which I did entrepreneurship management diploma, and then I did business administration, and I moved to UCT to do the business system analysis, which includes IT and business. Mm-hmm. And basically, that's a natural me, Hlengi Portia Masimula, and I'm just this girl who's passionate about life, passionate about doing great things out there, and and impacting lives. I'm just more about that.
So today's topic is breaking barriers, and you have done just that because your accolades speak to that. I mean, if you look at the quality of the accolades that you have, as the first for South Africa. You have done something recently with Jack Ma, and you just carry on breaking boundaries. You've broken into the global countries. Dubai, you've been there at conferences, and you have been part of the hosts and the speakers in some of the platforms.
Yes.
What is this about? What is this that drives Hlengi away? And every day I almost feel your energy because you're on social media and you literally put out your thoughts there. What drives you?
I think what drives me is that God has given us time to be on this planet, and there is a reason why we are here, and we are not going to be here forever. So that on its own, it pushes me. Look, okay, Lord. Every time when I wake up, I talk to God and say, "Hey, Lord, what is it that I have to do today that will put me closer to my future, to what I'm doing now, that will that will really put me closer to the vision that I'm building now. And these days that you have given me on earth, can I utilize them to live my purpose, to live why I'm here for? Because building Karisani, it was just not about just building an organization and becoming the CEO, become the power woman, but it was more about aligning my purpose, aligning my journey to my purpose, why I'm here, and using Karisani to impact people's lives and to change people's lives, and also to bring God's glory through my mission. I call Karisani, it's a mission that God has appointed me to build it while I'm here on earth and to live it so that people could see his glory through my work. You know, I look at Karisani as beyond just the business. I look at myself, I'm not just a businesswoman. I'm not just a woman in the ICT, but I'm a what do you call? I'm a God's servant. I'm fulfilling his purpose through the work that I'm doing. And that drives me every day, because what I'm doing, like I said, like what I'm doing, it's beyond just being a businesswoman. It's beyond just being this power woman. It's what I'm doing. It's God's work. It's a mission. It is a mission, because I believe while we are here on earth, we are all called to fulfill a certain purpose in our life. And that is what I'm always, when I wake up, I pray to God and say, Lord, show my purpose. Is it what I'm doing? Is it aligned to my purpose? Because that's what's important.
Now tell me,
that's a drive.
Absolutely. And I can feel the energy. I can almost feel it, like, you know, the passion behind the voice. Now tell me about Karisani. Karisani is your baby. And that's how I've known you, through the brand Karisani. What does it mean, and take me through the journey of how Karisani was formed? Because I don't think it was always this big, glamorous, and global. Take me through that journey.
Whew, where do I start? God. You know, my mom, she's in Ndebele, right? My mom, she's Mahlangu. So we grew up hearing this name, Karisani, and you know, it's something. I'm just gonna give you a brief description of how come, you know, how we actually got to name our business as Karisani. And as it's a Ndebele name, you know, it came from the Ndebele side. And Karisani, it's something that is striking. It's something that is innovative. It's something, you know, when you put it into our industry, when you design a system, right, or when you develop an application, when you are about to launch the application, what does it do to a client or to the other people on the side, without looking at the back end? Because there's a back end that we do before we put it out to live. But when you put it to live, what it does to people get, wow, this application, it's amazing, it's striking, it struck people, but they don't know what the work that you put behind the scene, I mean, in developing the application. But what it does, while people, it's striking. They're looking at the you know, checking the button if it works. They click there, and it's seamless. So Karisani basically means something that is striking, something that it's innovative, something that wows people. When after you've developed whatever that you are developing, application in our language. So when you develop an application, design a system, when you launch it, it just strikes people out. So basically, in nutshell, it means striking, innovation, and yes, basically in nutshell.
Who is behind Karisani? Because I see you, the brand, but I think in all your recognition, you keep on recognizing the people. You recognize the brains that do the work. Who is just behind Karisani, and what does Karisani do?
Well, they always say that, business, it's not built by one person. There's always a group of people, and there's always a brain behind the brand. I might be the main person, out there, but there's always, people behind me who are walking this journey with me. So Karisani basically was started by myself and Hlonipheni, which is my co-founder, right? We started this company 2014. And when we started, it was just the two of us. And Hloni and I, we met, we kind of had similar ambition and aspiration when we met. Because when I remember before we launched the company, we sat, we used to work at Sanlam together, and we sat, we spoke about, I remember the first question he asked me, he said, what kind of legacy we want to leave behind? That was a question he asked me, this guy. And he was like, and that to me, it was a defining moment. And when we were working at Sanlam, and he used to say, but I'm seeing all these wide service providers, software developments, service providers. Why can't be we the one that, start the company and become the software development company, Black owned? And to me, those conversations, and we were deep. Those conversations, it resonated with me. And the defining moment was, what kind of legacy we want to leave behind? And to me, it was like, hey, I think let's do this. Let's do this. Let's try it. I'm not saying we're going to win, but we're going out there with an attitude. We're going to win this because really, we wanna leave the legacy behind. We wanna do something great. And Hloni and I, we took the little money that we had and we invested in this brand, in this Karisani brand. We started the company. We only started with the web application at that time. It was only web development at that time. And we went out there. Each and every tech conference that was happening in Joburg, in Cape Town, we were there. We took ourselves out there. We created our marketing material. We designed our website. It wasn't even a proper website by then. It was just just for us to have a website. And I remember we got a recognition when Microsoft approached us, and they said, "Hey guys, we see you started the software development company. We want to invite you to come and pitch your business model to us." And Hloni and I, we compiled whatever that we had at that time, and we needed technologies because technology were expensive too. Because when we service our clients, we needed systems and technologies that could be installed in our computer so that we can service. We didn't have even much money to buy those systems and technologies. And when Microsoft invited us, we jumped ship, we pitched our business model, and guess what? We got selected for being part of the Microsoft BizSpark. And what they did, they provided us with the system and the technologies that we are still even using today to service our clients. So that to us was really a breakthrough, and from there we never looked back, and we forward we go. Of course, there are so many challenges that we encountered, along the journey, and also trying to build a brand on its own, because for the fact that we were part of Microsoft, it didn't just it also put us in a better position to be noticed out there, for the fact that Karisani was associating with such a big brand as Microsoft. That on its own, people starting to recognize us, the DTI started to recognize, the Accenture starting to noticing us, the Sanlam group starting to notice us, because and then after that, as we were growing this Karisani brand, and somehow we got an opportunity to present the company globally, and to me that was the really major highlight, because we all in our meetings we always have that ambition that we're not just building a local brand, but this Karisani brand need to be globally recognized. When we really being invited to Dubai, which is one of the big, boldest tech conference, GITEX, and that was like, wow, which means there's a potential in this company. So giving up was not an option. All these things that were happening along the journey, these small victories that were happening along the journey, it gives us hope. It really propelled us to what we were doing, we are on the right direction. So giving up, we are not looking back. We are going forward. We are taking the brand globally. We are building a generational organization. We are building a legacy that we spoke about earlier with my co-founder when we started. And and I had the opportunity to present our business model in Dubai and in France as well. And for us also being able to meet partners that side, it was like really a great honor. And in South Africa, and as we speak, Karisane is part of Accenture ESG program, which is a very good program for us because it didn't just open doors, but also we've gained so much knowledge about the industry as well in natural, because we had some sessions that we attended in terms of like the 4IR, the innovation, the AI, the virtual reality, the IoT. So we had all those kind of sessions. So I could say that I could proudly say that really we've walked the journey, we've put the work behind this brand, and we might not be where we want to be right now, but hey, we are on the right direction. The company is slowly but surely growing. And I would like really to thank the people behind this brand. Like I said, it's not just me. We've got Accenture behind this brand, like Accenture is behind this brand. I've got my business partners, Nhloni and Simling, and are behind this brand, and all these stakeholders that we have that I cannot mention, but there's a whole lot of group behind me that are walking this journey with me, and I'm grateful for that. They've really made the journey more meaningful and bit easier for me to walk the path.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing. Tell me, you said that the first break actually did not come from South Africa, and it took a while before breaking into the industry and just getting the recognition. How difficult is it to be an SME in South Africa? And I mean, what kept you going? Because you said, I speak to myself. You know what I write on the every morning I send out there into the social media is not just my talk. It's also me self-talking and getting myself to be focused and driving myself every day to be motivated.
Yeah. It is very complicated being a small business in South Africa. Then I'm going to say again and again, it's very, very difficult just being a small business in South Africa. The reason why I'm saying that, I've seen it, I've walked it, and I've experienced it. One, being a small business in South Africa, you are not taken seriously because you are a small business. They always feel like you are not fit enough to be part of certain projects. They feel like you don't have enough resources to be part of a certain project. So for you, really as a small business, to be able to be, part of this ecosystem, or being part of being recognized in the industry, it takes long. Like I said, we were fortunate when Microsoft came on board. When we became Microsoft Bespoke, that platform has really given us some, visibility and some, strength for us to be recognized in the market. And when Accenture ESG program also came, that also has opened doors for us. So as a small business, you have to ensure that you align yourself, try to align yourself with these corporate ESG programs. That's the best way you're going to break a leg in the market. But as a small business walking the journey alone, it's not going to happen. It's going to be very difficult. It is difficult because remember, the big organization, they're just about working on themselves, and like I said, when they look at small businesses, like, no, they got the capacity, the resources, and all of that. So for you, if you are being part of this of corporate ESG, which is the ESG programs, it really helps a lot. It really puts your small business in a better position, and for you to be trusted also, because you've got this big brand behind your small business. So for Karisani, it really being part of these programs, it really helped. Like I said, currently we're part of Accenture ESD program, and it really helped because they opened doors, so many doors. Like we are doing business with them, and like like I said, we attended session with them, and as a result, we are not just attending session. It also opened the business opportunities for us to grow our organization. As we speak, we've got project with them, and that is also helping us to build our brand, but with the help of that we are getting, with an assistant that we are getting from them, which we are very, very, very grateful. Accenture is really playing a really crucial part into our business as we speak.
Now tell me, how important is, I see you do your profiling, your branding very well. How important is branding in growing as an SMME?
It's very important because your brand, you are your brand, you are your business. People buy you before they buy your business. I always say that because you represent this brand, you represent this business. People have to connect with you before they can connect your service. People don't just jump into knowing about your service. They want to know who you are. Who's Hlengi Portia Masimula? What is she all about? People want to connect with your personality. So branding, it's important. You have to align your personal brand and to your business. Because people buy you, Pumza, all the time. Because before people want to know about Karisani, they want to see who's this person drives Karisani. What is she all about? And that's the message I put out there. This is Hlengi, this is what she's passionate about. This is what she does. And then all of a sudden people, now we can connect with this girl. They resonate with your personality. And then they'll want to know more about your business. You don't just meet people and just, okay, yeah, I'm the CEO of Karisani, this is what I do. No, people want to know who you are. Who's Hlengi Portia Masimula? Can I connect with her? Yeah. People want to connect with you before they can connect with your business, before they can do business with you. That's how South Africa works. I read the quote where it says, people in Africa, people want to make friends, then they do business. In Africa, people make friends and then they do business. In the West, people do business, then they make friends. Unfortunately, we are in Africa, right? In Africa, people need to connect with you first before they do business with you. So your brand is very important. How you project yourself out there, it's very, very important. It says a lot about yourself. So I always say that we have to use social media to advantage and make sure that we promote our brand out there, because what people see out there, it's basically you.
Now, the most exciting thing about this period, the period of COVID, is it's allowed a lot of accessing of networks that we would not have otherwise accessed. Yes. And I think it has opened a beautiful world that we are actually a global village, and people are people, and it removed the barriers of thinking that I cannot deal with someone in the UK because I'm based in South Africa. What are the trends that you picked up at that time, and what can women leverage out of this time? Because some people are feeling stuck, but some are moving. We're seeing you moving every day. How is it possible for you to be moving every day when people are feeling stuck?
I think for me, I think these networks that I have now, I've leveraged network that I have, like the network that I have now. It's these relationships that I've built for years. When we started Karisani, like I said, we were out there, taking the company out there, meeting different people. And now, all these years, I was being prepared. I sit now and I look back, all these years, I was being prepared to get where I am now. And the people that I met, the things that I've learned, the countries that I've traveled to, the knowledge that I've acquired outside South Africa. And if you look at all these things that I've acquired, has actually prepared me for these. Because now, like you say, some other people are just stuck. They don't know where to start, what's happening around, and also, living in this during this hard time and during this COVID. But I look at personally, I was being prepared all these years, and the network that I've leveraged all these years are really coming to fruition now. And everything that I've learned in the past, like look at the technological trends. I mean, 2 years ago when I was in Dubai, they were talking about AI, they were talking about IoTs, and now only these things are becoming real in South Africa now. They're talking about it. But for me, it was, I heard about all these things like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And now we are being here. I'm making sure whatever that I've learned in the past, I'm implementing. Now it's about implementing what I've learned in the past and making sure the network that I've built in the past, I'm utilizing to my advantage and to build myself and the organization. So whatever, like in natural, really, I mean, women or everyone, they need to ensure that they take themselves out there, because you cannot grow by sitting in your corner. You have to know what's happening around you. You have to look at the world, beyond your surroundings all the time. Now we've got information. It's at our disposal. You have to go out there, read what's happening around, read about your industry, connect with people we've got social medias. We connect with people on LinkedIn, with people on Facebook. Look at the people who are in your industry who are doing similar things to you. Like, if you haven't had an opportunity to meet people, like I said, my contacts that I have now is the network that I've built previous years ago. If you haven't built the network, try to use social media to your advantage. Connect with people, look at people's profile and see what they're doing, and ask for meeting, like a virtual meeting with them, and say, hey, I like what you're doing, and I think there could be some synergies that we could work together, and you connect with people. And that's how you can grow your network and use social media to your advantage. I'm going to say this again: use social media to your advantage to expand and your network and to grow your global. We are global, like you said. We are global now. I mean, I like, there's so many global leaders on LinkedIn. Connect with them. Don't be sitting out there and be scared. I mean, we are living in the world now. Things are rapidly moving so fast. So if we're not going to move fast, we're going to be left behind. If we're not going to disrupt, we'll be disrupted.
Tell me about the bad days, because we did speak about this, that you know what, when it comes out on social media, on LinkedIn, it looks all perfect. But there are disappointments in the journey. There are bad days, there are hard days. How do you get up from those?
Well, there's so many disappointments in this journey. I don't talk, probably I don't really mention them on social media, but hey, I've been through a lot in trying to build this organization, this Karisani. I mean, probably in social media, I become as a bold person. But behind the scenes, guys, I cry. Like, I literally cry. I've got bruises, I've got scars in trying to build this organization. I've been in so many rejections. Our organization, myself, as a direct, I mean, as a CEO of the company, I'm young, and being in the industry, sometimes you're not even being taken seriously, because people look at you as this young girl who's just was so much knowledge, was so much passion on, and people think like, but what has really kept me grounded and what has really kept me going is knowing where I'm going, who I am, what I want to achieve, why I've started this organization. Because there's always a why. There's always a why you are doing what you're doing. And that has kept me. And the motive behind of wanting to build a legacy. Because when I leave this world one day, I want people who say, hey, that woman, he has done a great job. He has changed lives. She has changed lives. She has impacted lives.
Mm-hmm.
She has left a better legacy that the next generation can tap into. That's what it's all about. That is a drive. So irrespective of all the trials, the rejection that I've encountered, I mean, I can count them, all the rejection that I've encountered.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I cry and I wake up every morning and say, Lord, I'm going to do something great again.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wipe my tears because this journey that I'm on, it's not just about building a business. It's beyond that. It's your mission. It's a legacy for the next generation. And it's something that I want to leave behind. So I'm going to ignore these rejections that are happening through me. I'm going to be strong, you know. And I think for me also being a spiritual being, it really has really helped me in my journey. I'm really, I mean, connecting with God and you know, because there are days where you feel like, no, I don't want to do this anymore. It's too hard. I mean, there are days where you're like, Lord, I just don't want to do this anymore. Why? Why me? Why am I chosen for this path? Really? And going back to the scriptures, you know, and resonate with certain scriptures. And that put me back on track again and say, Lord, you said, my child, you know, the plans that I have for you. I like, if you look, going to the Jeremiah 29, verse 11, I resonate a lot with that scripture that God's always say that, you know, if you read that scripture, I know I'm just becoming very emotional now because the journey hasn't really been easy. Like it has been very, very hard. And connecting with God has really helped me to be the strong woman that I am, and also, you know, reading the word, because it's hard out there. It's really hard. It's difficult. And like I said, I might appear as this bold woman and strong woman running this Karisani brand, but behind the scenes, it's hard. It's hard. But every day I wake up and I tell myself that, you know, you are here for a reason, and there's a reason why God has chosen you for this path. And eventually it will pay off. You know, eventually, because one day when you pass, somebody's going to read about your story and be inspired. Absolutely. And it's going to change people perspectives and how they view life, and it might, you know, awaken some girl out there who's also striving to build herself or her empire one day. And like I said, I like the scripture of Jeremiah. Says, Lord says, I know the plans that I have for you is plans to prosper you and not to harm you. And that scripture keeps me going every day, because I know that God has greater plans for me and what I'm building as well. You know, my intention of building this organization is not just about myself, but it's also about bringing hope in other people's lives and inspire the younger generation that against all odds that are facing us as young people, we can still do great things. We can still be great young Black girls. You know, we can still impact life, not just locally and globally. We can still reflect God's glory through our journey and in us, basically.
Absolutely. And just because it says it is to make you prosper, it does not discount the journey, that there can be difficulties in the journey. And I love how you're saying it, that you know the end goal. The end goal is what? Prosperity, to prosper you. But you have to have the courage to go through the day, you know, the daily, the day in and day out. I so love what you're saying. And I love how you're encouraging everyone else, because no day is the same. Every day, you can have a high day yesterday, excited, you close the deal. The following day, there's a crisis that is almost stripping you out of that. But it's the staying power. And I love how you've used your faith, you know, to be the anchor in everything that is happening. It's the anchor that is holding you down, that you keep on standing because you are set on that word. You know, it keeps you going. Hlengi, it was so amazing to have you. And I am so grateful for the openness and the authenticity. More than anything, really trusting us and being vulnerable, because it's in really the stories of challenges that we inspire other people to know that it's not an easy road. It is not about the
No,
pictures, it's not about the after,
no,
it's not about the after effects, but it's also
no.
about that day when you feel like you cannot take another step, to know that.
Yeah, and also, just with this despite of all the challenges that you encounter, also you are working with people. You've got employees that are looking at you all the time,
Mhm,
and you also have to, behave in a certain. You have to be this strong woman, because these people behind you are looking on you. They're looking at the decision. You have to make this decision to be made every day, and
mhm,
those decisions impact,
mhm.
has the impact. Is either going to have a positive impact or negative to people that you are working with. Like I say, it's a mission, because there's a lot of people behind you. So
Ab-
it's just, and challenges are inevitably in this journey. Like literally every day there is a challenge.
mhm, mhm,
Every day there is a challenge.
mhm,
Every day. If it's not that, is that. If it's
mhm,
not losing the deal, is um money going out the business, losing money.
mhm,
There's
mhm.
just so many challenges. But you know what? God is great, God is faithful, and the faith has really kept me going. And I'm still standing by the grace of God. And I still trust God that I'll continue to do his work, and I'll continue to depend on him to guide me in this mission. It's a very difficult mission, and that's real. That's a true story. It's a very, very, very difficult mission. But with God, we'll do it.
All things are possible. Now tell me, if people are trying to find you, how do they find you? Where are you present in social media?
Okay, I'm actively involved. I'm present at. They can find me on Facebook, and LinkedIn as well, and Instagram. I'm not really a Twitter fan, but
Mhm,
they could Facebook, because I that's where I express
mhm,
my views and my motivation codes,
mhm.
through, that are aligned to my journey. So Facebook, I'm really actively present, and LinkedIn as well, and Instagram as well. They can find me there.
Or
So at our website, Karisani, they can find, if they want to inquire something of what we do and what our latest programs, they can visit www.karisani.com. We are on, yeah, they can just visit our website. They can post any inquiries that they might have, and
mhm.
then yeah.
Thank you so much, Cindy. And I admire you. I admire your courage. I admire what you put out there, because you really put out yourself and your vulnerabilities daily, but also the strength. That's what we see. It's the strength. And I love it, because when we spoke before we came online, it was sometimes it is not about what you are preaching to others. It's about what you are saying to yourself, to encourage yourself on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing yourself, and I look forward to seeing what you'll be up to next, because you're always a trailblazer. You're always.
Thank you so much, Kumza. It has been really such an honor being part of this talk, and I look up to you as well. You are also doing an amazing work, and you keep up doing the good work as well. You're an inspiration to me as well. So thank you so much for inviting me, being part of of your talk, and I really enjoyed the session, the talk, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you. There you have it, listeners. You can follow Hlengi. She is really amazing. If you're really looking for that message in the morning that will pep you up and set the tone of the day in a positive way, she's available Facebook, Instagram. She's on LinkedIn. There you have it. And all the best for the day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.